What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I'm very humbled. Thank you guys so much, man. So I got asked another question like they always ask me, man. Gun, why do people kill people in prison? Like, what's the justification for that? What happens to them? Where do they go after they do this? Are they segregated? Are they kept away from all other prisoners forever? Well, the answer is very simple. And in order to give you a correct answer, a definite answer, I have to tell you little stories, right? Because that's just what I do right here. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, right? And for knowledge you can't get in college. So trip out on this. So the answer is pretty simple. What happens to people that unalive or kill people in different places, different prisons? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens to people. Pretty much nothing. You get a little bit of segregation time. You get a little bit of ad seg, a little bit of time put in the hole. Might catch a new case, but for the most part, you're placed right back on the same yards or other yards that are very similar. See, in the California prison system, there's only a few places they could send you. They're either going to send you to the general population yards, the hole, or to the S&Y yards. And now they're integrating so many different people. I don't know what's what. They could pretty much send you anywhere. So I've seen many instances where people get unalived or killed or however, whatever wordplay you want to put on it. And it seems like most of the people that do are people that are caught up in gang issues, internal issues within their own people, or sometimes weirdos, right? Chomos. So you ask yourself, well, Gun, according to everything I've ever heard, these chomos and these weirdos and these pedophiles and all these people that hit these yards, they don't usually go to general population. And that's a fact. Correctamundo. You hit it. Guard. He said it. Fill it up with unleaded. They don't hit general population. It's very few and far between that are able to slide onto these main lines, onto these 4 yards, 3 yards in the California prison system. For the most part, everybody sees their C file, meaning that the cops already know what these guys are in for. So say if you got a weird case, you're accused of any type of weird stuff like Danny Masterson, for instance, you know, who has a rape on his jacket, a hard R on his jacket. These guys are automatically going to be placed in protective custody, in S&Y yards, somewhere where they believe it's a little bit more easier for them to get by. Because if these guys went to general population, let me tell you what happens in general population. So one day I pull up to Corcoran and we go to R&R and, you know, to me, it's just another day. I'm looking around. I'm worried about myself. I could care about anyone else unless he was a Norteño, which was my homeboy, or everyone else is on their own. There's a white guy in the corner. He's like, brother, I just can't wait to get a cup of coffee, a cup of Joe. You know, I love a cup of, not Joe Biden, but a cup of Joe, right? And I'm looking around and I see that they have this one guy segregated from us. So automatically I assume he's either going to protective custody, he has a weird case or whatever. And ding, 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 bingo was his name. I was right. He did have a weird case. But what happened was the cops failed to realize, or they didn't care, that these guys that worked in R&R were general population. These guys that worked right there that would give us our bundles or look out for us or just were working, period. If they got a chance, they would get at this guy, okay? We're talking about level 4 yards. We're talking about real life hardcore convicts that have been down for a long time that pretty much have nothing to lose. And what they do have to lose, they don't give a fuck about, right? So this guy, what happens is they got us all segregated from this person. And he's a white guy. And I could tell already, man, he's nervous as fuck. This Volta has beads of sweat dripping on his nose. He's kind of a fat, heavy-set dude. So I'm thinking either fucking he has high blood pressure, or he's mean mugging the shit out of those sack lunches they're about to give us, and he just can't wait. You know, it's like a new shoe song. He couldn't wait. Anyways, they couldn't wait either. As soon as they opened his cell to bring him out, to talk to him about whatever they were going to do. So what they were doing is they were bringing people out. They bring you out individually, and they ask you where you're from. They're trying to figure out who you identify with, so that way they could place you in the proper setting. They could put you on the proper yards or put you in the proper cells. And of course, if you're an active gang member and you've lived that life or been incarcerated before, you know better than to say anything. Don't say shit. You know, when they get you out, hey, who are you? Where are you from? You know, The most you could tell them is what institution you came from. I came from Tracy. Okay, figure it out. They're going to place you wherever they place you, and you're going to have to deal with the repercussions for that action. That's what real gangsters do. That's what you sign up for. That's what you do. If you sit there, oh, no, man, I'm from fucking Fresno, or I'm from Merced, or I'm from LA, you know, that can be misconstrued or considered giving up the ghost. That could be considered telling on yourself, dry snitching. Basically, you're telling them, no, fuck that. I can't go over there. But in so many different words. And people will hear that. These guys in R&R will hear exactly what you say. They'll run back to the fucking yarda, to your people, and let them know, hey, Holmes, when your homeboy pulled up, that vato was telling him that he was fucking active and this, and that. And that can be considered a validation point, and anyone you're around can be impacted by what you got going on. That's dry snitching. You're not going to last too long on the yard. They're going to take you off that yard. So anyways, as soon as they brought this guy out, I remember too, they were opening the fucking, the thing so they could give us our sack lunches. Okay, that's usually what happens. You get on R&R, and usually if it's a long ride, they'll give you a sack lunch on the bus, on the Green Goose, or they'll give you a sack lunch as soon as you pull up. And usually they'll give you a sack lunch anyways. You pull up, bam, here, that keeps the inmates at the asylum happy. And everyone's so starving, you're so hungry, you're trying to fuck up that sack lunch. Plus you're in a new place, you're trying to see how they feed you there. So everybody's chopping it up, talking, and they segregate you according to, your groups. In this cage, they'll have the whites and the Southsiders. In this cage, they'll have the blacks and the Northerners and the others. It's just like how the main line, and that's why I say, a lot of people say, well, the gangs segregate themselves on them yards. Actually, the CDCR segregates us for each other, right? They know where to put us. So anyways, anyone that's in their own cells, you already know something's wild with them or they got some issues. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a weirdo or they got a weird case. Don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes these guys have, keepaways where they got to be by themselves because they kill a lot of people. And you just can't be around those type of guys, or they got death row going on, whatever they got going on for whatever reason, right? But 99% of the time, they're going to be either a rat or a weirdo, something. They're going to have some weird type of charge. So anyways, when they opened the door to pull this guy out first, they were going to deal with him first so they could figure out, house him, get him away from us. As soon as he walked past these fucking guys that were fucking, working there, boom, they were on him, right? For whatever reason, they knew exactly what he was in there for. And unlike Wes Watson's stories where they just beat you up, give you your sack lunch, there's blood everywhere, and they don't even mop it up. No, this delayed everything, right? They smashed on him. We all had to get against the wall. Get against the wall so you can film me, right? We're all against the wall. They dealt with that issue. They stomped them out pretty good. These guys get snatched up. IGI comes running in. They're trying to question everyone. I didn't see nothing. My mind was on peanut butter and jelly, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? And so they end up taking this guy all fucking chueco out of there, and these other guys, they snatch him up, take him to the hole. So, of course, they ask us when they do our little, where we from or whatever. Hey, did you see the incident that happened? What incident that happened? Oh, you're a tough guy? What's a tough guy? How do you spell tough? Right? You're going to play it off. And then they housed us. That was not my first glimpse, but a glimpse into that prison, how they handled business immediately. That's let me know right there. They ain't fucking around right here in Corcoran. They do not fuck around in these prisons. These level 4 yards are different. If you have any type of suspicious activities going on, they're gonna surface. And when they do, they're gonna snatch your ass up quick. They won't even let you get past the threshold. That's a fact. So, back to the question. What happens to these guys that unalive people, and who are the type of individuals that actually get murked on the yard? Well, there's a number of reasons you can be killed on any prison yard. It could be a simple disrespect. Someone just doesn't like you and they're going to fucking pick at you, until you say something, and then they're going to deal with you. It could be as simple as someone's having a bad day, or they got fucking shot down at board or whatever, and they just target you. I just don't like this guy. But for the 99th percentile, most factual and actual, right, that I can give you is most guys that get dealt with are going to be dealt with by their own people. Now, if it's a melee or a riot or something happens like that on the yard, yeah, I've seen people get smashed on, get stabbed, but the most people that die in those fucking type of incidences, okay, the first one that gets taken on, taken off on, he's going to get smashed. That's a fact, right? Because that's how it kicks off. So they're going to make it a point to lay a demo down on him. Everyone else, you might get stabbed, you might get scraped, you might get hit from the side, but usually it's a flesh wound or it's just a boom, right? Your adrenaline's pumping, you're going, everyone's moving and grooving. So not only are people trying to hit people, but they're worried about getting hit themselves. So in those cases, You'll have a whole bunch of people that go to the hospital. They're all laid out after with their tongue sticking out. But the ones that actually fucking catch the killings are the tower. The tower, they're shooting people. You know, they're trying to stop the incident. So, like I said, most of the time that you're gonna have anyone get unalived or killed on a yard, it's gonna be by their own people. That's 100% fact, right? And like I said, it could be simple disrespect, a weird case, something as much as, you know, you owe people on the yard, you get into debt. And I think debt is probably one of the main causes of anything. Debt and alcohol. You hear about these guys making pruno, and there's a lot of people that make pruno on the yard. Everybody likes to sip a little pruno, a little white lightning, get a little drunk with your friends. But you should know better than to come out to the yard like that. See, if you present yourself to the yard like that and something goes down, your people are going to be very fucking pissed. It's going to be a hostile situation. And it happens all the time. I've seen it happen on several incidences. The Southsiders, you know, have a very strict regla that you can get drunk, you can do your thing, homes. You can indulge, but don't bring that shit out to the yard, because if you cause a wreck or you act stupid and you get them caught up and you fuck up their business, homes, heads are going to roll. You're going to have something to answer to, right? Same thing with the Norteños. You're not even supposed to really indulge, but back then. But if you did and you went out to the yard like that, homes, and you acted a fool, well, then you're going to get made a fool. And that's it. They're going to cut you up real nice. You know, the woods, a little bit different. Brother, you know we like drinking coffee, right? They get to go out and you'll see them. They like to horseplay and do their thing with each other. But a very serious group, you know. Again, alcohol has been the reason for plenty of people get butchered on that yard. Someone gets drunk. They get, you know, when you get drunk, you get that liquid courage. They disrespect someone, and the other group feels like, hey, humps, you know, either you got to deal with your people or we're going to deal with all of you. And that's pretty much how it is in prison. There's more talking that goes on before it gets to the stabbings, right? There's always going to be a conversation because you're trying to figure out the next guy and give him the game. Like, look, they're not punking you or pressuring you, but like I know the Southsiders have been known to get at the blacks, like if there's a situation, and let them know, hey, bro, you need to deal with your people. Not you got to deal with your people or else, but you need to deal with your people, bro, before it escalates into a bigger issue, because my gente is already tripping. When it comes to the Norteños, it's the same damn thing. That's why I say it's all the same. You know, if someone disrespects them, you know, they're going to feel the same way. Like, hey, you need to handle your gente, take care of your own. Your own's very disrespectful, or we're going to have to do it. And if we have to do it, we're going to do it right. Baby, we can do it. Take the time. Do it right. They're not going to take the time. They're just going to do it right. Now, if you have a weird case and you're able to float by R&R, make it through all the obstacles and trick people because you have some different paperwork, and it's happened before a lot of times. What happens is this is how people are able to wiggle. You know, and these are why these type of people get killed immediately when it's found out. Nobody wants to be around a weirdo. Okay, it's just an unspoken rule. If you have a bad sexual deviant case, or you've taken advantage of women or anything like that, nobody wants to be around you. It's not a good charge. Okay, you're gonna get dealt with swiftly. And it's not just by your own people. It's all point bulletin. If you're Mexican and you got bad charges and some white guy finds out about it, he's going to get at the Mexicans first to deal with you. If they don't deal with it promptly, then they're going to smash. You know, and it's all hands on deck. No one cares. Because, hey, at first they're going to be like, hey, man, why'd that white guy fucking get off on that paisa? Well, that paisa fucking was talking about some sexual shit in the kitchen. They found some paperwork on him. He was. And boom, they're not going to be around those type of people. It's just the way it is. And it's the same thing goes for the Mexicans, vice versa, and all that, right? Blacks, everybody. You know, nobody wants to be around that shit. You know, we hear that myth that, hey, the paisas don't check paperwork, or hey, the blacks don't check paperwork, and they allow these type of shit to happen on the yard and these guys escape by. Nah, I've never seen that. Maybe in certain places, maybe that's true. But I've always seen everywhere I've been, people checking papeles. They're checking paperwork off the top, homes, and if you have a weird case, you're going to fucking get dealt with swiftly blue, right? They're not going to fucking play. So that's many of the reasons why people get fucking smashed on the yard. I've seen it so many times, man. I remember this one time, and I've told the story before. I was on the yard, and there was 3 crime partners, you know, and I'm just gonna run through this real quick because I've told it a couple times. But anyways, fucking 3 crime partners, same hood, same vaudeville, same everything, and how they ended up on the same yard, I don't know. They were fucking crimies. They were able to facilitate that movement, right? They used to always be walking that yard, and they were from a big gang in LA, very well known, right? Well, they ended up finding out that 10 years prior, their homeboy had caught a weird case. Man, they butchered that dude on that yard, something vicious. Like, the cops were hitting him with the fucking batons. They were still on him. Not like this, Holmes. They were on him like this. It was vicious, right? I remember I was right there by the basketball court with the homie. And we were from Stockton, and we were looking like, damn. Every time they hit him, you could hear the crunch of the bone. Just giving him the business, right? And believe me, the cops were right there on him, trying to stop him. They'd pull one off, the other one would get on. They pull the other one off, the other one would get back on. It was vicious, and it happened like very quick. But that guy right there, they carried him out. He's like this again. Another one. So what happens to these gentlemen that do this, that do these type of crimes, right? Immediately they're placed in the hole, just like any other incident that you get caught up in. They're placed in the hole, and I mean, if they kill someone, you're gonna get charged. And what happens is you get charged in the county where you do this. So say if you're in Corcoran, you're gonna get charged, and I believe it's Kings County. If you're locked up in Delano, you're gonna get charged in Kern County, and so on and so forth. Depending upon where that prison, the county that prison's in, they're gonna charge you in that county. And that means the district attorney from that county that you're locked up in, just because you're in prison don't mean shit, right? They don't have an in-house fucking tribalism type shit. No, you get charged in that county, the district attorney. And it's up to them whether they want to pick up charges and charge you or not. If there's a body involved, you're probably going to get charged. Now, most of these guys that are lifers already that are doing this shit, because most of the majority of the time, 75% of the time, the guys that are killing people are lifers. There are some instances where you have someone that's doing 18 months that just decides fuck it, or he's told to just get off. And that's a fucked up situation because now they're going to do life. But these guys that don't have nothing to lose, it is what it is, man. They just they end up going to court, and they go to court in that jail. Okay, so they go to that county jail. They'll get booked into that county jail, and they'll deal with their issues there, right? And a lot of them, they'll get sent back to the prison. They have court dates, or a lot of them will just sit there in that county jail and fight their case. That's just what happens. If you do a killing in prison, then you're going to go to that county jail, the local county jail. And it's just like any other trial. Because you're doing life, that plays into factors and all these different factors. And you get whatever time you get according to your fucking jacket, according to your record. And that's it. And then they'll bring you back to prison. And maybe you have to do a little shoot term. And back in the days, they had indeterminate. So if they figured it was gang related and you got validated because of that incident, then of course you were sitting in the back in the shoe forever. But if it's not, you'll usually just get moved to another yard within that prison, or they'll send you to another prison across state. And that's it. That's why you have so many guys that are on yards, and everyone knows what it is because you get a little bit of respect. You do gain respect. It's fear and respect because people are like, damn, that vato just came from Corco. Yeah, that vato fucking killed someone over there, eh? Serio? Yeah, vato's fucking off the hook, eh? That's good. Yeah, the wind blew over there. What did he hit him for? I don't know. They found out if it was a chomo, and they just fucking sliced him and diced him, and yeah, salad. Tossed his salad, but in a different way. And that was it. So they get, it's just like the streets, okay? You do a crime, you're going to do the time. You're going to go fight your case. Same exact thing. Now, how frequent do killings happen in prison? More than you know. More than you know. See, every time that they have, we're averaging, I think, I get on this website and I look, just for shits and giggles, right? And I look to see, and it's not a laughing matter, but just to see, how much death is being dealt that week in the California prison system. I can't speak for other prisons. I can only speak for the California system. And I tell you this right here, it's happening like once or twice a week, and it seems like most of the issues do stem from being gang related. But I'm sure there's a lot of other reasons why, that's not our business to put out there. But I do know that it's happening about once or twice a week. And a lot of it isn't announced. You only hear about the big shit, or if it's a notorious name or someone that's famous. But there's so many people. And it's a cool part. I had a homeboy that got killed. Okay. He got killed in Tracy prison. And he got deemed all bad. And for whatever reason, he was out on the streets burning people. End up telling on someone, I said a little too much in his paperwork, got locked up. They found out about him. I wasn't in Tracy at the time, man. But he ended up going to Tracy. And I remember when he got hit, I was on the streets and everyone was like, hey, did you hear about the homeboy? Fucking, they killed him in Tracy. And you always hear shit like that. And you're thinking, it's just a rumor, bro. He'll be all right. He'll get out here and he'll be, I'll see him at the taco truck getting a burrito and he'll be on Scante again. It's all good. But this time, no. This time it was truth, right? And I was like, damn, bro. And I remember talking to his jefita months later. And like, cause he wasn't from the hood, but he was just a homie I knew. And I was like, damn, what happened? And she was like, yeah, they killed him. They killed him on the yard there in Tracy. I guess, he got caught up and whatever. It's her son. She's going to justify his actions, but the streets talk. And I was like, damn, that's cold-blooded. And I was like, so, and she goes, the cold part is they just called me and they were like, he didn't make it. That's it. Not that they didn't call her and be like, hey, we have some unfortunate news. Your son passed today. No, she said they called her. She answered the phone and they said he didn't make it. She said, who didn't make it? I sent my old man to go give me a pistol. He's not back? Yeah, I know he didn't make it. Fuck, I'm thirsty. No, your son, he didn't make it. And that's all she got told. And she had to go do her investigation and find out what was going on. Find out that he got hit on the yard about 40 times. And they're right. He didn't make it. I don't know if there was anything else they could have told her. I seen a situation where someone got murked, right? Or I heard about it. And it was cool because I knew this guy. And so, let me tell you, when I started to hang around with the regiment in Merced, the active Norteño regiment, right? I kind of got pulled in by a homeboy. I'm not going to say his name that, we knew each other for a very long time. He was younger than me, but he was like going in and out of prison more frequently than I was. Like he got pulled, right? So he was really with the business. He had took that next step, dedicated himself to the cause and all that, which is a Norteño thing, right? So this vato, when he gets out, everyone's hearing about, hey, because he's well known in the town. Hey, the homie got out. I run into him, bam, quick. Hey, what's up, bro? I know you're striving. Come chill over here. So he's introducing me to some high-powered people. People I've always wanted to meet, but never knew how to get in that door. You feel me? So now I feel like I'm somebody big and bad. And it's like that. With a little recognition comes, acknowledgement and power. Now you feel like you're that man. I wasn't bullying people or talking shit. I just knew that everybody knew that I was hanging around with this type of crew, right? And there was one guy, and he was from a different city. He was from the Bay Area, and I'm from the Central Valley. So everybody kind of looked up to him because he was gamed up. And one thing about the Bay Area is they like to say that they're light years ahead of everybody else. But this fool had game, right? But we bumped heads. We never really, we were cool. That was the homie and shit. But he knew that I knew that he was just playing that role. And I knew that he knew that fucking, hey, I would call him on it. That's how I've always been. A lot of people are like, oh, gun talks, he's all wild. But really, when I'm out there, I'm kind of just watching everything. I've been doing this since I was a little kid. So I always watch my back. So I'm kind of tripping out on him. And we get into it one day, and he's the man. He's actually sent to Merced to run the town, right? So he was that one. So you don't step on his toes or bump heads with him because he could easily have you dealt with. So anyways, and I know that. But I ain't no fucking punk, right? So one day, I ain't even gonna lie, I was out there on the block serving patients all day, like the doctor. And I happened to pull up to the little spot where the homies are at, and there's like a knock right there, right? And he's like, I need an 80. You know what I'm saying? The time's right. And this kid hooked me up. I'm trying to drink wine and smoke crack cocaine, right? And I'm like, I got you. So I'm looking around, no one there to serve him. I got off and whatever, little money in my pocket, whatever. So the homeboys pull up and he's like, hey, bro, there was a knock that was supposed to meet me here about 20 minutes ago. Did you see him? I'm like, oh, that fool left, bro. I said, I swerved him real quick, right? He was like, what? Oh, bro, that ain't cool. That's regiment money and this. He started getting all high power gang related. I was like, here, bro, you can have the money. I ain't even tripping, right? Fuck, I ain't trying to get killed. Here. And he was like, yeah, bro, no, we're gonna have to have a hunt on that one. And shit. Like, bro, you're overstepping your boundaries. And so we just didn't get along. Cool, whatever, right? We didn't have no more incidences. I need to stay away from that fucker. Well, guess what happens? He liked to punk people. He liked to fuck with the little homies. He liked to make them do things they shouldn't do. Oh, yeah. They smacked his whole shit in Tracy. The vato gets to Tracy. Hey, everything you do in this life will catch up to you. He gets to Tracy. They've had several fucking people wrote him up. Like said, hey, man, this vato fucking, he's no good. He's no good. He's no good. And I guess somewhere along the line, he did some shit that really deemed him no good. They killed him right there in Tracy. Got him, right? Usually with the Norteños, it will happen in your reception. You'll have vatos that make it to high desert and they get murked for whatever reasons. But I've seen a lot of things, or I've heard of a lot of incidents just happening right there in the reception. They get off on you. And I'm sure the same thing happens like in LA County Jail or down south in the receptions and everywhere. It's just what it is. So those are the type of prisoners that are killed. on the yard. You know, like I said, there's a vast amount of reasons it could be. And what happens to the person? Pretty much nada. They catch a little bit more time. And what it is, I've told stories in the past. I had a little homeboy from Stockton, man. I can't say he was a little homeboy, but he was a little homie. And I met him right there in Tracy in the fucking, and going to medical. And he was only doing a little bit of time, man. And a few days later, he did a pegada and they killed the dude over not taking a shower, right? And he's a lifer now. So it just is what it is. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive, the struggle, the struggle, the strive. I'm going to continue to do what I does. Yesterday, I was very busy this weekend. I went fishing with the homies, man. I had a lot of shit going on. Had to do the kid thing yesterday, man. So I wasn't able to drop the double banger. But today, today? I got a banger for you. You already know what it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, struggle, strive for what I honestly and truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Thank you.